personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder seem to get stuck or impaired at fairly early levels of emotional development, usually around 18 to 24 months of age. As adults, they have the mental content, vocabulary, and experiences of adults. However, their ability to process complex, personal, intimate relationships has not developed beyond those early childhood levels. Developmental psychologists point out that there are optimal times when learning patterns of human interaction are much easier, and that after the optimal time, it may be extremely difficult or impossible to fully learn new ways of thinking and interacting. Specific patterns of personality impairment in person-to-person functioning have been identified by therapists and researchers. The two patterns of impairment that we are looking at in this book are borderline personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder. These two disorders share many similarities and some obvious differences. They are serious mental illnesses, and they have a profound impact on family members as well. How does a person with borderline personality disorder or narcissistic personality disorder affect their children, spouse, and family? How does the role of caretaker develop in response to a family member having a personality disorder? Because people with borderline personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder make such a profound impact on their family members, the family itself cannot keep functioning without someone taking the caretaker role. How does the caretaker role keep healthy family members from reaching their own full emotional development and satisfaction? How can the caretaker remove him or herself from this role and learn to create a healthier and more satisfactory life? These are the questions we will look at throughout this book. Let's look first at the patterns of borderline personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder, keeping in mind that these patterns are variable and unique to each person. It is probably best to think of people with these disorders being on a continuum from some impairment in a few areas to severe impairment in most or all areas. Naturally, your own family member may be anywhere on the continuum, and it is good to keep in mind that an individual may act more impaired when under severe emotional stress and seem less impaired when there is very little change, conflict, or responsibility to deal with. Borderline personality disorder. The clinical term borderline personality disorder came into use to describe ongoing, long-lasting dysfunctional behaviors in people who did not have a full-blown psychosis, such as schizophrenia, but who also were significantly more dysfunctional than people with problems of anxiety and depression. Borderline personality disorder is described by the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 4th edition, DSM-4, as a pervasive pattern of instability of interpersonal relationships, self-image, and affects or moods, and marked impulsivity, beginning by early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts, including at least 5 of the following. 1. Frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment. Persons with borderline personality disorder may not be willing or able to do much of anything alone. The borderline person can become frantic over events such as having lunch alone or having to be at home alone at night. Borderlines may drink, call loved ones dozens of times an hour, go out and pick up a stranger for sex, have crying fits, or cut themselves to avoid being alone. The more dramatic, intense, and self-destructive the borderline's behaviors, the more dysfunctional the person usually is. 2. A pattern of unstable and intense interpersonal relationships. This refers to the pattern of the borderlines going from intense love and adoration to intense hate, rage, and anger over and over in love relationships. Borderlines are known for being happy one minute and threatening divorce a few minutes later. They break up with loved ones only to get back together and break up over and over.